Welcome to another video where we look at books of the Bible in under 3 minutes. So let's get into it. Okay, so before we jump into the book of Genesis, let's look at the big idea of this book, and that is this. God is in control. In Genesis, we see how God created everything and he established his kingdom. And he chose a man named Abraham and his offspring to be the people through which all the families of the earth will be blessed. That's a lot. And we also see in Genesis that although humans rebel against God, God is still in control. The book ends with the nation of Israel on the verge of entering the promised land that God had given them. So even though there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in this book, like talking snakes and worldwide floods, the big thing to remember is that God is in control. Okay, now let's look at some of the key people in the book of Genesis. First, we have Adam. He was the first human created by God, and he had a special relationship with God. But Adam and his wife, Eve, rebelled against God, and that caused them to be kicked out of the garden. Then we have Noah. He was a man who was righteous in a time where everyone else was wicked. So God spared Noah and his family and all the animals and then reset the world through them. Then we have Abraham. He was chosen by God to be the father of a great nation. And even though he didn't have any children for a long time, God kept his promise and made him the ancestor of many people. And then we have Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, who were all important figures in the lineage of Abraham and the nation of Israel. They all faced their own unique challenges, but God was faithful to his promises to Abraham. Okay, now let's look at the key themes of Genesis. First, we have creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Everything was made by God and for God. Second, we have fall. Because Adam and Eve rebelled against God, sin and death entered the world and humanity was separated from God. But that's not the end of the story, because third, we have redemption. God promised a savior who will crush the head of the serpent. Even though the effects of the fall are still felt throughout the world, God still has a plan to redeem his creation. And lastly, we have God's covenant with his people. God chose Abraham and his offspring to be his people, and he made promises to them about their future. God was establishing his kingdom, and he wanted them to be the vehicle through which all the families of the earth would be blessed. Okay, so those are the big ideas, key people, and themes of Genesis. If you want to dig deeper into the book of Genesis, I encourage you to read it and then watch what happens next. See you next time!